Cannon again.
Bree, she said, how you juggle your 12 kids for the holidays is your problem.
And I don't see it as a problem. I think she was saying like it is, but I don't involve her. Like,
but I feel like the baby mom's got to make it easy for you too, right?
They do, and that's what like I said. I give them credit to where like even in the process of like they say this is what we want, and it's everything from Christmas pictures to sled riding, the pictures with Santa or experiences. Like I make sure that every kid who wants to do something or we have certain things set up, we make time to go do it. So it's almost in that thing like, look, we want to do these 6 things for Christmas. They want to do these things. So I'm kind of, again, I'm all over the damn place, but it's fun. I mean, y'all see my IG, you see me like I'm at the Grinchmas one day. I'm over here at, Candy Cane Lane the other day. And it's really like my kids are having an amazing time. And it's not to be performative. It's just like, yo, this is my life. And we fucking having a ball. Like, nigga, you know how much money I spend at Disneyland a year?
We can imagine. One of your baby.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Talking to you guys about Nick Cannon once more again. You are probably tired of me talking about Nick Cannon. I know, I'm tired of it too. I treat it like a PSA, right? Because I want this to be a warning to other men out there, right? Now, of course, Nick Cannon takes it to the absolute most extreme by having 5 baby mothers and 12 kids. But there's a lesson to learn in here, right? Something that he doesn't realize, a blind spot, naivety, a lack of remorse, a lack of understanding, a lack of wisdom in the situation, right? Whenever we look at families that have several mothers, right? Even biblically, it creates issues. We look at Abraham and Sarah. We look at Jacob and Leah and Rachel. And we see how issues arise when people have several mothers, right? It sounds good. It sounds amazing. It sounds sweet. Until you realize there is more to children and the partner you're with than just being financially present or even being there at those crucial moments. There are other key little moments which become crucial in anybody's life, especially children. Right? So when he talks about the fact that, it's fun right now, I get to be here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, because you get to be pick and mix, right? See, a lot of men who lack commitment, have commitment issues, I being one of them, love the pick and mix effect. Why? I'll tell you this why. Because we don't have to commit. By having a pick and mix situation, I get to have the best of every single world. So for 1 or 2 days, I'd be this mother of the kids. Other kid, I spent another 2 days there, another 2 days here, another 2 days there. And what happens is I'm never long enough to experience the actual lows of that child's life. Oh, let's talk about this. You're never long enough in a situation with that particular mother and the child long enough to experience the lows. You only experience the highs. So no wonder why it sounds so good and amazing and fun. Yeah, going to Disneyland is fun because for a few days, y'all get to spend time together in a fun environment. But every child knows, and anybody who's been a kid, because you have been, if you're an adult now, you know that there are ups and there were downs. There were fights and there were times of dislike and likes with your parents. Some of us fell out with our parents. Some of us had to learn hard lessons. Some of us were stubborn. We have to go through certain things with our parents. But the reality of the situation is Nick Cannon is extracting that from the relationship with his children. They will never not know bad moments with Nick Cannon per se, except the fact that they had their own emotions that they will have to deal with of him not being able to be there consistently. Yeah, you can schedule time in your diary, but I'm sorry, you got 5 baby mothers in several different places with 12 different kids. You're going to struggle to be able to spend time with them the way that you need to. I'm not saying he couldn't spend time with them, but you're going to struggle in spending real time with them, because the time I'm talking about isn't when you go to schedule the birthday or a celebration or when the kid says, for Christmas, I want you there. Well, just imagine this. You have 5 different mothers. Imagine the kids want you at Christmas, and you do every 5 years, you see that child at Christmas. You don't know what you're doing to that child's mental and psyche. And so when he says it's fun, I'm looking at him like it really is fun because you're picking and mixing and you're lacking a commitment and you're lacking responsibility. You don't have to handle that child every single day. So you're good, right? So long as you're making money, right? We already spoke about the ladies and being accountable, so we're not going to deal with the women on this channel, right? So if you're a man in here and you're watching this, please keep those comments to a minimum. We've already dealt with the women on several videos. I've talked about how women should be accountable with Nick Cannon's situation. But specifically talking about Nick Cannon, I don't care how much money you make. You can't make time. Time is not something you can buy. Well, at least not with in terms of philosophically speaking, right? I mean, technically you could buy time. You know, if you owe debt, you could buy. Okay, let me stop that. But you know, real thing here. He talks about spending 200,000 at Disneyland, and you know the fact that you know it's such an amazing time that the kids get to be there, and you know he's to work there, and it sounds all glamorous, it sounds all slick. But he hasn't really spoke about the turmoil and the impact on those kids. He hasn't spoke about how those kids not having him in his life on the daily is problematic. He hasn't spoke about the fact that the heaviness of his heart, that he can't be there every single time when the kid bumps and scrapes. Was he there for every step? Let me tell you something. And this is not easy. And this is even normal parents, right? Normal parents who go to work, both maybe you know come from a average working class home. Parents may miss things, right? Because they're out working. Now, let me tell you some stuff that I saw as a firstborn. Looking after my younger siblings, I saw their first steps. I heard their first words. I saw them struggling to crawl. I saw them, learning the ABCs. I potty trained. I changed nappies. You know what I mean? Probably shouldn't have been doing this as a third parent reality. But the reality of the situation is, right, I saw a lot of things. Now, had I been a brother to 5 different families, I may not have been able to see those things, right? I would have saw aspects, and it would have been lucky if I saw certain things because I had to be there at the right time, right place. But because I was the brother of one family, right, I got to see those things because I was in the same place. So when I was doing the Weetabix and testing the bottle to make sure it's not too hot, and doing the milk and distilling the bottles and all this kind of stuff, I did that because I was in one family. I was in one place. Nick Cannon can't have that effect. I saw the highs, I saw the lows. I saw the days where, my siblings maybe not in the best moods. I saw them when they were in the best moods. I saw when we fought and then we were angry. I knew the days where we were silent to each other. We didn't want to talk. I saw all of those particular ups and downs because I was in the same place most days. Nick Cannon is not going to be in the same place most days. He can private jet all he wants, but he's still got to work and he's still got to see the other 4 families. Right? So for me, kids have an amazing time periodically. Emotionally does not deal with how they feel on the rest of the days that they're not with you. Kids learn so much from observing how their parents move, and you've intentionally created these families. This is not a situation where, we're separate. No, you've intentionally created these families, 5 different ones. And so these kids are going to watch that movement and going to learn from your own behavior. But what they can't learn is conflict resolution per se, because you haven't ever been in a household to show them conflict resolution. They can't see that. They can only see you being on high, coming in, sharing love, and going back out again and disappearing again for a period of time. Right? Now, of course, these kids might come out some way well adjusted because the parents are very good, the mothers are very good. And so they might come out well adjusted. But what they will always lack is the understanding of how men operate, because they wouldn't have had that father figure in their life. And it affects men in various different ways. Let's not pretend that doesn't happen. So Nick Cannon saying, quote unquote, we're calling him a good father in some sense because he's able to be there at key moments. But the father role is about being there in the good, the bad, the ugly, rain, sleet, snow, sunshine, rainbows, fog, mist, and all that. And being able to stick it out, right? It's not when you come and you go as you please. It's not, as my dad would say to me, this house is not a hotel. Well, this relationship with your kids is not a hotel. You don't just come and you go. You don't just pick them up and drop them again. Let's pick a mixed situation that you're doing, right? So yeah, and my last thing is I remember as a little kid, some of the disappointments that I had were not the big ones. The things like turn up to my football game, or turn to a recital, or being dumped as a 5-year-old by one white girl that I didn't even that I liked or whatever, and being able to tell the story. Sometimes I don't need to solve the issue. I wanted to tell the story. But there's no dad around to tell the story too because he's not here, right? But anyway. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button. My thoughts and sentiments on this. We appreciate you guys.